Well, let's get this kicking. Show on the show on the team. Show on the road. Sports ball. I don't know.
I love sports ball.
Hey Craig, why don't you join us for
Here we
once?
go.
Now
Now
recording.
recording. Hi Craig. Hi Kyle.
Hello.
Well, uh, what do we got going on here? What is this? What are we doing?
We're doing the Nerd Pod.
Oh, well, welcome to Nerd Pod.
Episode 4.
A New Hope, literally.
Let's hope so.
Um,
I'll see myself out.
yeah. Well, I'm sick. I'm pretty sure I'm sick. So I
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of sniffles and I'm going to sound like trash, but here we go. So,
Not the
anyways,
sniff.
yeah, got the sniffles. My name's Dak. That is, who are you?
I am Kyle.
An imposter. And this is Nerd Pod. Um, Welcome to episode 4. Kyle, what are
Yeah,
we what are we talking about today?
we're talking about the video games
Oh.
Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor.
Oh, what are you, some kind of video gamer?
No.
Oh, well, I need to find a new co-host. Now taking applications for gamers. Yeah, let's how was your weekend? Since we can't say week.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's weird because we recorded 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Um, but even just yesterday was kind of hectic. We ended up doing some summer cleaning, I guess you could call it. It's still
Okay.
technically spring, I guess, but we did
Yeah.
some cleaning around the house and reorganized the living room, and then somehow our cat got out, so we're looking for her.
Oh no,
Um,
what?
yeah, I don't no idea how, because normally we keep her in our daughter's room during the day, and then we noticed we hadn't seen her all day and no idea. So hopefully, hopefully she's brought home.
Yeah, that's really sad. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
How are the
Um.
kids doing with that?
Well, one is out looking for her, like with her little group of friends that run the apartment complex.
Okay.
And the other one who like that's her cat. She's out with her friends, but she was pretty upset and distraught for sure. I can no longer see you. Oh,
I'm
there
back.
you are. There you
I
are.
sneezed and had to blow my nose. Um,
Wonderful.
yeah. Well, that's really sad to hear. I'm sorry to hear that. Pets are obviously part of the family. So
Mm,
that's kind of sad as they say. Well, no, that is
they
sad.
they they do say.
And I mean, wow, that's a lot. What did you I mean, outside of the cat going missing, did you guys do some other stuff?
No, just rearrange the house and clean it.
Yeah.
That's really it. Um, did a ton of laundry, and that's I hate doing laundry.
Oh,
So
same. Same.
like I'll get it done, and then I'll just leave it in the dryer for days because I don't want to put it away.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I
It's
feel like a lot of people are that way.
I know. It's like the dishwasher. Like for me, I could load the dishwasher
Mm,
any day. I could do the dishes any day. But there's something about unloading the dishwasher. I mean, I don't
mm.
know.
So
I just can't.
our dishwasher has been like broken for 2 years.
Oh.
So we actually hand wash everything.
I used to have to do that wait when I was a kid, but why is your apartment complex not like fixing that shit?
I wish I had an answer for you. We bring it up with maintenance whenever they come around every once
A
a
year.
year, maybe.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this and this and this,"
And
and
then they
then
never
nothing
do.
gets done, and yeah, nothing gets done, and my rent goes up anyway. So,
You know, that's part of the reason why I moved away. But yeah, well, I mean, that sounds like a action-packed weekend. That's for sure.
oh, and I've got Dungeons and Dragons tonight.
You fucking nerd.
You fucking nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta go play with your friends and do Dungeons and Dragons. I say that as somebody who has actively been trying to get into, D&D in some fashion for a few years.
Yeah, that's the game with Damon.
Damon, if you're listening, your niece misses you. He's the unofficial uncle to my dog because, he's watched her a few times and she really
Hmm.
digs him. Um, well, cool. Well, not cool. Eventful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What has happened with you since Friday? Now that we're Sunday afternoon.
Sunday is a very good song by Siamese Elephants. Um,
You brought that up before.
it, it's like I listen to them a lot or something.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So yesterday was Pride, so that was cool. Pride Fest, sorry. So that was cool. And then after that, let's see what happened today. Oh, I got my hair recolored, which you can't probably tell in this. I'm getting too close to the mic, but yeah, I no longer have nasty, janky roots. So, it's pretty lit. And then I went to my cousin's dance recital, which I kind of forgot how fucking long those are. But also,
Mm.
you know, it's impressive to see that those, girls can dance as. Hold on just a second. I'm getting some feedback from your side. Is this coming out of like your computer speakers by chance?
Yeah, I have it's overheating for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. No, because I can like
Oh,
hear myself through your mic.
oh, well, let me turn that down. Okay.
All right, let's retry that again because like the whole time it was popping up on your screen as like Kyle's talking,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so my weekend's been pretty lit, not lit, just
Lit,
eventful, packed.
lit fam woke.
Yeah, yeah, that what the street youths are saying nowadays. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I mean my weekend has just been packed. I've just had a lot of stuff going on. Haircut and recoloring because blondes do it better. And then I well,
Do what better specifically?
life, fun experiences, generic frolicking through forests. We
Oh,
scientifically, it's proven that we frolic through forests better. So I do wish I had
if
blue
science
hair.
backs it,
I mean, I've got a PhD in frocology, so
All right.
uh, I, you know, I do wish I had blue hair. I was really close to it yesterday. Of like actually like full ass coloring my hair instead of just like going platinum blonde each time. But
Mm.
you know,
I
yeah,
mean, well, with the platinum blonde, you can always just color it anyway.
exactly. And it looks
So
like this doesn't, but like once it evens out, it looks a little bit more natural to where I just kind of look. My name is like Sven or something.
Sven.
Yeah, I just look very Nordic. But yeah, so after that, Pride Fest, that was pretty cool. It rained a lot, so it wasn't super enjoyable.
Mm,
And then my cousin's dance recital. I also went shopping. The dance recital thing, though, I mean, God, it's been so long since like obviously I've done something like that, but I forgot like just how many performances they have to like jam into one day. So she performed like 20 something times in the span of like 6 hours. And like,
wow.
for those of people who are for the peoples out there who are listening and who have done dance themselves or who have experienced dance. It takes a lot out of you, so it was very
Mm.
impressive. And then afterwards, we just you know came back to the house. I did, you know, yeah, stopped at a dispensary for the first time in a while since moving away from the Mountain West, and that was kind of a
Oh, what
different
do they
experience.
dispense there?
Oh, frolicking lollipops for
Hmm.
when you're frolicking through forest with a lollipop.
It's a lot of frolicking.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just like a different experience compared to like where we lived. A little bit more intense, so and more expensive. Like I
Hmm.
don't got time for that anymore. But yeah, and then of course today we're just doing this, and then I need to probably start marinating some steaks, some beef steaks.
Oh, some beef steaks there, bud.
Yeah, I found this really cool recipe that uses pineapple in there, and it
Mm.
supposedly doesn't really like alter the flavor of the meat. It just okay. So, did you know that pineapple actually has calcium crystals on the inside, and the specific enzyme that is found in the juice is one of the same enzymes. I hate using that word. Enzymes that actually can like literally start eating away at like your flesh. So like when you're eating a lot of pineapple and then like it starts burning all over your like arms and stuff, it's because those calcium crystals had like poked into you, and then the enzymes literally start eating you while you're eating it. Fun
Well, you heard it
fact.
here first. Pineapple doesn't go on pizza.
I mean, I we're not going to go down that, but that's you know what?
That is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
we'll have a whole we'll have a whole episode just on pizza.
We do not need that.
Pizza toppings. We'll bring in a celebrity chef. I'll bring in Gordon Ramsay, and he's just going to sit there and berate us for like 30 minutes. That would
Oh,
actually
my
be yeah,
my self-esteem cannot handle that.
yeah. What are you, an idiot
Onion
sandwich? Yeah.
sandwich.
Okay. um Featuring my dog in the background. Yep. I don't know if you could hear her flapping her
I can't
ears.
hear.
Yeah, hold on just a second. There we go. Uh, anyways, so yes, it was a very packed weekend, and today I'm just gonna be a lazy bum. It is currently like sad boy lo-fi aesthetics outside. It's like raining with like a dreary look, so I'm kind of digging that. I'll
Mm.
probably like hang out by the window and read the rest of Battle Scars, because in this house the books we read are nerdy books.
I mean, most books are nerdy books.
Well, with my PhD degree in frolicking,
Hmm.
I can contest to that.
Your PhD degree?
PhD degree, yes,
Okay, all right.
that I
I don't
got
have one of
from
those.
Phoenix University. Just kidding.
Oy.
Yeah, I don't want to be facing a defamation lawsuit. So that was a big old joke, just like me. Anyways, yeah. Let's shoot the shit. Um
Oh, sure.
so before we start talking about, you know, the Cal Kestis saga, um,
Hmm.
we don't really need to say spoiler alerts ahead for Fallen Order, just because bitches is it's been out for a while, so
Hmm.
you should have played it by now. And if you didn't, just stop listening to this podcast, go spend the next 9 hours playing it, and then come back. Um,
Or go watch all the cutscenes on YouTube.
yeah, that works too.
But I mean,
Outside of that,
whatever you want to do.
whenever we do start talking about Survivor, we will kind of put a little bit of an insert in and just say from
A
here forward,
disclaimer.
yeah,
Yep.
that you're going to be listening to some spoilers. And if you haven't actually played Survivor, then maybe skip out on it after. Whoa. Bye, Craig. What you do? What did you do to Craig?
It reconnected. Just went off and reconnected.
I don't
He's back.
I don't think he likes my PhD degree in frolicking. I think that's
I'm
what it
gonna have
is.
to agree with that.
Um, yeah. So, anyways, Survivor. That's what. Yeah. Let's get back on that train. So
Mhm.
if you haven't played Survivor, do not skip over playing Survivor just to watch cutscenes because it's a very, very good game,
Mhm.
and I personally, after fully completing it, feel like it was definitely worth the money. So maybe just skip over this episode. Okay, that's not the word. Episode, and then we can chit chat next week. Well, 2 weeks from now, from recording this, because if this comes out next week, then it would be the following week. Um, yeah. So
Time is a weird
you know
soup.
what? Yeah, it's a construct. It's a construct, and as we saw in Rebels, the Star Wars universe has its own realm outside of time. So maybe
That was something.
I know, I know. Yeah, you know what? Let's actually talk about that. Yeah, because we actually didn't really get to talk about Rebels
We
now that you
didn't.
finished it. So,
Yeah.
to have some filler and to at least make this somewhat interesting for the people who haven't watched Survivor yet,
Right.
let's talk about Rebels. So, what did you think overall? I mean, like you kind of split it up, but
Right.
you finally finished it, so we can
I
finally
did.
talk about it.
Overall, I liked it,
Yeah.
but those last 6 or 7 episodes, I complained about it to you.
Yeah.
Some major plot armor that I would just thought was completely ridiculous with the wolves.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, even with that, I think the planning in that last episode that Ezra ended up doing and
Hmm.
going through with was super cool.
Yeah.
Because I thought it had been spoiled and it like for me and he was dead
Oh.
because that's what I had heard. But obviously that is not the case. He's just out in space somewhere.
Well, I guess I mean maybe it could be perceived that way if you before we got the Ahsoka trailer. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah. I agree with you though. As much as I do love that show because it's probably my favorite Star Wars animated series, um,
Hmm.
and as much as I do love Dave Filoni, it felt a little lazy on those last little few episodes. So
Yeah,
I just I don't know. I do so I mean, talking about one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, the Kanan Jarrus death scene. That
yeah.
was just incredible. I think I told you like
Well, that he got the force back for a
I know
second to finally see, I mean,
to
not
see.
finally see, but to see them for one
Yeah.
last time.
Like that scene, I think that that's such like a important moment when we're talking about like the canon of Star Wars. Like I think that that's like the truest. Let me try and gather my thoughts on that. I think that like in Star Wars, where Jedi truly shine is when they're making a sacrifice for others, and I think that like we kind of see that with the Ahsoka series, or not the Ahsoka series, but the Tales of a Jedi series specifically with Ahsoka. We see it with like Kanan Jarrus, literally when he's sacrificing himself, being so strong in the Force that like he literally does regain sight, like he heals himself. And I don't think we have anywhere else in the Star Wars universe where we hear or see them healing themselves. I don't know if
I
we do.
mean,
I
I know
Is it
Grogu
canon?
healed other people,
Yeah, yeah.
but um,
The, we're not
not
going to talk
that
about
I
the
can
two lovers. Are you
recall.
just like that against the Skywalker saga or the out outquels? What do we technically call
That's
those
the
last three
sequel
movies?
trilogy.
Sequel trilogy. Okay,
Mhm.
well, that's stupid.
And that was weird because there was healing and then immediate death and
It was like this
force essence
weird Romeo and
transferred. I
Juliet
don't.
crap.
It was ah.
You
I'm
just
not the
hate it so
biggest.
much.
I'm not the biggest fan of the sequel trilogy, but there was a lot of nostalgia grabs in there that
Yeah.
did get me at some points. But overall, I was just like, well, they've even admitted they didn't have a plan for the damn thing, and it's very obvious.
The diet of the Force. Ah!
Somehow, Palpatine returned.
Yeah. Well, okay. He actually
Okay,
healed
okay.
himself. Healed himself. Remember? Well, I guess that's after he took their life force. Wow, that was just. It's
It's
just
all over the
talking about
place.
it like it's just. It was so dog shit. God.
And then that, like, one of the movies they announced was like Rey rebuilding the Order, and I was like,
Can you
that
not?
is the one I don't want to see.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else that was like force sensitive that could have rebuilt the order? Like,
Just those, I don't know, those actors were done so dirty by that terrible writing, and
yeah.
visually it looked amazing.
Yes.
The story's just, ugh.
It's sad because I really do like Adam Driver. I mean, I would like literally climb him like a tree. I mean, he is like a sequoia, and I would just scale the sequoia that is Adam Driver. And Daisy Ridley is gorgeous and an amazing actress, and I just felt like she did the best she possibly could, like with that. But I don't know.
I'd,
Okay,
I'd say the biggest thing is the way they did John Boyega in those films.
I know. Like, let's introduce this really awesome
That's
character, and then
yeah.
just kidding, he's not actually anything more than just a
That's
pantomime.
I think a stormtrooper defecting and turning into a Jedi is such a cooler
Yeah,
story.
I totally agree.
Other than I'm just gonna yell Ray for 3 movies.
Yeah, Ray.
Like, fuck that.
Okay, so walking our little, this is us walking. See, well, okay, since there's two of us, it'd be two of us walking this way. Visuals, people. So for our auditory listeners, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually gonna explain that out loud. So yeah, going back to Rebels. Yeah. So you finish up Rebels. You finish up those last few scenes. I agree with
Mhm.
you. It was a little lazy. It seemed like it didn't have the proper ending. I was eventually hoping after watching it, I was like, oh, that would have been cool if they would have did what they did with Clone Wars. But I think instead what they're doing is just saying we're gonna do this in Ahsoka, which I can be okay with.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like overall story wise, what do you think some of your favorite characters were?
I mean the main crew.
Duh. But
Yeah.
like within
Um,
that, like Ezra, did you really like Ezra's like angsty teenager, like foray into the dark side and then comes back kind of thing? You're like, what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say like my favorite was probably Kanan out of I mean the main crew anyway. Kanan and Sabine.
Yeah. I like Zeb. I really did like Zeb.
Yeah.
At
That's
first, I
cool
didn't like
too.
him, but and because I love choosing chaos, I really liked Agent Callus's kind of story. I like what they did with Agent Callus.
It was very interesting. I liked when he was like, when they were, I think it was him and Rex were arguing about who was left in charge to fly
Yeah.
the ship or whatever. It's like I used to fly Imperial stormtroopers. Why am I not flying? And Rex, like, I guess you just answered your own question.
Yeah. There you go. Um, I thought that I don't know. I thought that was cool that we got to obviously see, Zeb IRL and Mando. That was cool. So I'm kind of
Mhm.
excited, to see the live action version of other characters. Chopper, as far as a droid, not my favorite. TBH.
Eh, just kind of there, I guess.
It seemed more like his character existed only for comic relief.
Right. But I guess Dave Filoni voiced Chopper.
Well, Dave, if you're listening, just kidding. Well, I mean, it was kind of cool seeing him like in the Ahsoka trailer, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with like a live version of him.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Space Whales ending that was pretty lit, pretty cool.
Were they whales or were they squid?
Yes, space squid.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. What are the space whales? There's something space whales in Star
There's the
Wars.
space whales, but I don't.
The space
Yep.
squids, though. I mean, we got to see it in Mando too. That was cool. I kind
Hmm.
of like that they've been giving us like all throughout season 3. They gave us like little Easter eggs leading back into like Rebels. So that was I just
Hmm.
liked that. But obviously now that you've watched Rebels, I'm assuming you're probably a little bit more hype for like the Ahsoka series. Like, do you feel like there's a lot of questions that you want answered in the Ahsoka
Um,
series?
I was hyped just because, I've seen Clone Wars,
Yeah,
but now that I know the Ghost Crew a little more, I'd say the hype is pretty up there.
yeah.
So,
It'll be
I don't know. Obviously, I think they're gonna try and find Ezra, but
yeah.
I don't know how that hasn't really been revealed in the trailers.
All we saw
So
was
I
just
don't
like
know. The
hologram.
the message he sends, yeah, at
Yeah.
the end there.
Well, and Sabine. So I don't know if they showed this in the original teaser, but we got in the newest teaser with a date that it does look like Sabine picks up a old laser sword and is fighting against.
But she has Ezra's lightsaber, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, and that's what
Yeah.
she's using. It's green, by the way, and I know how much you hate that
No,
color.
I don't like it for Cal. That is all.
Yeah, it.
Green is fine with the people that have normally used green.
Um, we yeah. Let's move on. Let's talk specifically about Cal Kestis, the Cal
Okay.
Kestis saga, and
Well, there is one more thing that did bother me about
oh,
Rebels.
okay, yep, backing up. Yep, let's go back. Go back to
How
Rebels.
did how did they have a baby when they kissed literally once,
All right,
and then
guys,
he
we're gonna end
dies?
the episode here. Have a good rest of the
Yeah,
day. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I
That bugged me.
I
That
mean,
bugged me so
what
much.
would a Twi'lek human baby look like? Not that. I mean, it would look scary looking,
I mean, I
probably.
don't care that the look, it's the logic of the thing.
I mean, he has green hair. Okay,
I don't
so
care.
I I mean, maybe they
Mm,
did the dirty, and this was just them, finally saying that they were in love. Maybe it was like a, I don't know. What, I don't know how to answer that.
didn't
That's,
like it. Did not like it.
I
Bothered me
know.
to no end.
I know. And that's what's hilarious is that's like one of the most common things that people bring up whenever it comes to like the ending of Rebels is like, how did this happen? How is that
Yeah.
baby that baby? All, I mean, they just like said they loved each other and then kissed. I mean, we
And then he
obviously knew that
died.
there was a romantic connection there, but like, come on. I don't know.
I just, blah.
I know.
Make it make sense. That's all I want.
I don't know if it. I don't know if it can make sense. That's the issue here. What if it's like I don't know, no, because she straight up like says that Kanan was her dad or his dad, right?
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't.
Can't get around that.
It's actually Ezra's.
Nope.
Maury. That would be stupid. But I would probably pay to see that. Like a Maury episode that's like Star Wars characters. But ow, frick. Ow, I just like jammed my toe.
Ooh,
Well,
thank you.
hello. With your blue hair.
That's our sponsor for today is Cousins with Caffeine for Me.
what what is that coffee bread beverage? Hmm?
It is Java Mint Frappuccino
Oh
from
god.
Starbucks.
Basic white girl.
Mm,
Yeah.
tastes
Oh,
like
I
Thin
don't
Mints.
even have a drink. I should have got a drink or something like that.
Mm.
Um
And that's enough of those sounds.
so
ASMR drinking
yeah.
my fucking Frappuccino.
Yeah. Um so, I mean, yeah. I don't know how to answer that. I also took issue with that. I love Rebels, but I love Rebels up until like the last few episodes. So
It's fair.
that's about
I
all I
get it.
got for you, bud. What is that? Oh, that's my hair. That's weird. That
That
pulls up really
is
dark on
skin.
that. That's strange. Um, so yeah,
Oh,
you know what? At this point, I've got nothing left to say. Let's talk about
all right.
Cal Kestis and the story of
Mhm.
the I don't Fallen Order. I couldn't think of a better transition.
The
So
order has certainly fallen, sure.
yes, with my PhD degree
In
in
frolicking.
frolicking. Um, Yeah, so Cal Kestis, Cameron Monaghan, aka Daddy. Now, I mean, now that he has a beard and stuff, but um, yeah. Why don't you set the stage?
So basically,
Do shot for shot.
I will not.
The camera
Fallen
pans
Order
over. Yeah.
tells the story of a Jedi that survived Order 66 as a youngling, Cal Kestis. And we see throughout playing the game that his master, Jaro Tapal, was killed trying to save him, and that basically gave Cal, I guess you could call it PTSD,
I mean, yeah.
to
And
where his
really quick,
abilities just aren't there.
I mean, obviously, so he survived. He was a youngling.
Yes.
Why did he survive as a youngling? I don't know, because he didn't get murdered by Anakin.
He wasn't at the temple where
Exactly.
Anakin was. They were at a
Exactly.
completely different area.
They were at Braca, actually. Yeah. The Battle of Braca.
So, fun fact about Jaro Tapal.
Ooh.
His voice actor is Travis Willingham from Critical Role, and he plays
Oh.
Kingpin in the Spider-Man games.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know he did voice acting. That's cool. Critical Role, I guess
Critical
actually no, that
Role.
makes sense because they have a lot of
That's
like
they're all voice
actors of voice
actors.
actors. Yeah, that kind
They're
of
all
does make
voice
sense.
actors. Yeah.
I guess I just didn't, put 3 and 2 together to equal 5.
Mhm.
I could do math. Look at me. Um, yeah. So continue. Sorry. So, he escapes down. He lands on Braca,
Mhm. Basically, becomes a scrapper in the scrapyard there.
specifically the Scrapper Guild,
And
which is a crime syndicate of the Star Wars universe.
I believe that's what his tattoo is from.
Mm-hmm. Tis,
Yeah,
tis, tis, which we see more
his
about in
tattoo.
what Bad Batch. We see more a little bit of like the
Hmm.
backstory with that. Yeah,
Hmm.
which was cool. Them going back to Braca and it wasn't raining, and it was actually slightly pretty at
Yeah.
certain parts.
And basically, in the scrapyard, he befriends Prof, who is some sort of alien creature that exists. And that's during some sort of engineering thing, Prof starts to basically fall to his death, and Cal uses the Force to save him. Prof won't shut the hell up about it. Um,
That and
which
I think there was a probe droid around that area.
there was a
Right?
droid,
Yeah.
yeah. That's how the game starts. It pans in with the probe droid.
Oh yeah, with like the weird rock song or
Hmm.
what did they call it in
It's
subtitles? It was something like did not sound like what it was.
Yeah, they call it something funk. I remember because they
Yeah.
allude to it in Survivor too, because you have the DJ.
Yeah. That and then like a very similar song played in Mando season 3 whenever they went to the planet that we got to see Zeb.
Hmm.
Was that Delphi Outpost? I think technically. I can't remember. Anyways,
I don't know.
so yeah, so he Prof just won't stop talking about it and just keeps going like,
Hmm.
"Oh, the Force, cow."
Hmm.
And he's like, "Dude, stop talking."
Yeah, and that gets a couple of the Inquisitors sent out there,
Which we get what the
and
second sister
we get
and
the second and the ninth, I
ninth. Yep.
believe.
Yep, yep, yep. Big beefy
And
bitch.
the second sister ends up um, stabbing Prof with her saber, which gets Cal to retaliate with his. This ends up in a whole big battle where Cal is saved by Seer Junda and Grease
With almost
flying
dying.
the Stinger Mantis. Yes,
Yeah.
almost dying. But even
I
still, I think the ninth sister, second sister, whichever one she was, whichever one Trilla is, jumps on the ship and like tries to break through it and
Yeah,
stuff
that was pretty
too.
cool. The part that I always didn't understand is like how did they find Cal? Like how did they know Cal was going to be there? Because this was all like this. It's not like this took place like across days. Like this was like a very instantaneous
Within
kind
the
of thing.
span of like an hour, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So like how did they like intercept the transmissions and already like be within the relative vicinity?
You know what? I have never once thought about it, and I don't care. because they get together, and that's what happens.
Yeah. So then we discover who Seer is after they,
Hmm.
after he walks in with his lightsaber still on, and Grease is like, grab some seat. Um,
I love Grease.
I know, it's just such a good character. So then we
Hmm.
find out more about who Seer is. Seer is a fallen Jedi. Is that fair to say that we would call her a fallen Jedi?
Yeah, she's definitely cut herself from the Force. She has
Yeah,
some trauma there as well after
some pits.
being tortured by the Empire after Order 66.
Yes. Which, we find out later that she had tapped into the dark side, and
Hmm.
because of that, she cut herself off, which is very much an old order mindset. Like, I don't know, there's no like crossover like what we see like with current Jedi, but yeah. So we also get introduced. Well, so they go to a planet called Bogano, which
Oh
she
no.
alludes to the fact that like only her and her master Endo Cordova kind
Hmm.
of know about. Um, we get to see some cute little boglings. Those boglings are so fucking cute. I want
I
one,
want one. I
dude.
want one.
Same.
Let's get a
Um,
Bogling.
let's just like genetically make them with my PhD in frolicking.
They frolic as well.
They do frolic. I've got a sneeze.
Hmm.
Hold on. Just kidding. It didn't happen. Wait, it's still happening. I hate this. I hate being sick. I hate allergies so much. Um, fuck.
Oh, my boy Dak is dying over there.
Yeah, this is not good, guys. But we're committed to this, so we're keeping the schedule. Shit. So yeah, then we, he goes searching through some old Zepho tombs. Zepho were a force sensitive alien race from a very fucking long time ago.
Mhm.
Um, have we really seen the Zepho outside of that? I don't know if we've really seen them mentioned elsewhere.
If we have, I don't recall.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, we find out later that that's why Dathomir is so dark, is because of the sage tomb that's associated with Dathomir. But I mean, I've recently rewatched a lot of Clone Wars and I've rewatched a lot of that stuff, and I don't really recall them ever kind of saying anything specific. Just saying that not Zaphomir, Dathomir is just like very attuned with the dark side of the Force.
Hmm.
Um, but anyways, yes. So they go to Bogano. He does some Force magics, and then we get to meet probably one of my favorite characters of all time, BD1.
BD1.
Yeah, where we get to learn all about scanning, and then Dak spending way too much time searching around for scannables, because that's what I did. But we're not going to do a whole recap of everything. But through and through, they're pretty much just trying to find a what are they called? Holocron?
Holocrons.
Holocron. There we go. Yep.
Yep.
They're trying to find they're trying to find all of Voldemort's holocrons, and
So they can throw it into Mount Doom.
yes, yes, and that's NerdPod. um, yeah, so they're trying to find a holocron of like force sensitive Jedi or force sensitive children,
Mhm.
and pretty much the whole story is just going from planet to planet, learning more about the Force or learning more about what the Zepho's secrets were to the Force. Cal reconnecting with his Force abilities, which we also kind of see mimicked again with Grogu. Grogu did a very similar thing where it's not like he forgot about it, it's just kind of suppressed, and then he started to learn his own Force abilities again.
Mhm.
Um, and then the coup de grace, per se, uh, we go back to Dathomir, fight a big bad guy. What was his name again?
Aaron Malakos.
Yes, a very Greek aesthetic looking character, which I was digging.
And he believes he has mastered the power of the dark side.
I know you don't like the term, but that's where I do feel like Grey Jedi
No,
applies
don't
to
say
him.
it.
Because he didn't like choose the dark side, he just like landed there and used the dark side to survive, and then the dark side corrupted him. I know you hate that.
I
Uh,
just I don't think there's a gray Jedi, and I will stick to that opinion forever.
um, so then we like kill him. We get to like be BFFs, BBFs,
Well, Marin
BFFs
like
with Marin, right?
uses Night Sister Marin. Yeah, she uses her magic to kind of bury Malchus into the ground.
It didn't really even
Super
kill
cool.
him, yeah. So I mean,
No,
maybe he's still alive. Um, and then we go into well, I guess is that after we go into the Inquisitor base? No, that's before, right?
that's before.
Yeah,
Yeah, Inquisitor base is like the last thing.
because then okay, so like the reason why we like have to kill Terran is because he has to get some sort of Zepho obular thing, right? Like that was like the whole purpose of going deeper into the temple was trying
I
to like
thought it was more that um Cal told him what they wanted to do with the holocron, and he's like, "Nope, not doing that,"
could
and
be, yeah.
decided to fight him.
It's been a while since I've replayed the game,
Yeah.
so yeah. Um, then the holocron, or so they go back to Bogano. They actually are able to get to the holocron. Oh, no, that's what it was. It was like a key thing that they had to get out of the
You might be
Dathomir
right.
temple to even get into the holocron.
And yet
Um,
Marin decides to join the crew as well.
yeah, after like literally trying to kill him for like the
Hmm.
entirety of the
Well,
game.
he has to explain that, like, the people she, thought were Jedi were actually on the dark side.
Not good. Yeah,
So,
because like I guess the only frame of reference that she would have had would have been just like General Grievous, Dooku, and then of course Terran
mhm.
using his
Yeah,
lightsaber to kill a bunch of people.
and Grievous slaughtered most of her family. So,
And then Terran did the same thing
mhm.
once he got there. Um, so yeah, it's just it was pretty cool. Then they got the they got the holocron. Then while they were trying to get the holocron, second sister was like swoop, picked it up, took it
Yep,
to Fortress Inquisitars,
Inquisitorius. Yes.
which in my opinion, that execution was done a little bit better than what we got out of the Obi-Wan series. But very similar. I don't know. After watching Obi-Wan, I was kind of like, did you guys like talk before like this was released? Like, did anybody at like Lucasfilm and say like, hey, these are kind of similar? I don't know. But yeah. I mean, we're also skipping, skipping over, sorry, going to like Kashyyyk, finding a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
But
Saw Gerrera's in the game
yeah,
too.
Saw Gerrera is also in there.
Gah.
Fucking hate that guy. And I think
Not a
that
fan.
they did a good job in the game of showing like that he's not a good guy.
Yeah.
Um, and then of course, so they get to Fortress Inquisitorius, steal back the holocron after almost dying. Second sister dies. So we find out that like second sister is Trilla, who was
Yep.
Sir Junda's Padawan.
Apprentice.
Apprentice.
Padawan. Yep.
Apprentice. Was it apprentice? Was she full
I
on?
believe it was Apprentice Padawan. What's the difference?
I, I don't know. We should know that because we're big Star Wars nerds. But I feel like is there something
I
different?
feel like I feel like Padawan's maybe younger and Apprentice is older. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I've never once thought about it.
I know. I can't really think about that. So yeah. So we find out that like Trilla kind of went to the dark side because she felt like Seer abandoned her, which what we find out with a lot of the Inquisitors is that they just pick on specific fears or insecurities, and then that's what fuels them, and that's what drives
Hmm.
them to somehow listen to the people. I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, so she has like a little bit of a moment where she's like, "Oop, maybe I'm not on the dark side," and then his favorite person on the planet, Anakin, Darth Vader, stomps down in and just kills her. And then
Yeah,
that was like
the
an intense
big moment
scene.
in the game.
Yeah, that was
Very
really
intense.
intense. I remember when I played it, I was just like, okay, what's happening next? Like, okay, so now
Yep.
she's gonna help us escape. And then it was like, I heard a lightsaber. Oh, what is that? It's red. And then she like does that thing and she falls and it's just him standing behind her. Oh, it was such a good scene. Another
Hmm.
like kind of kill box scene that we got too. That was cool.
It was. I think it was cool when him and Cal finally square up,
Yeah.
and Vader goes, "It'd be wise for you to surrender." Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Cal, you don't know what you're fucking with.
Well, and then there's one point where they're fighting in like a hallway, and like I think Cal somehow loses his lightsaber and is trying to use the Force to get it back, and
Yeah.
Vader just uses the Force to ignite Cal's lightsaber into Cal.
Yeah.
It's
Which is
like
so cool.
it's crazy.
And then we get to see, fun little weekend at you know, what's the water parks? I was gonna make a joke about like the water parks thing, but now I'm trying to think of like
Wild Waves?
sure, Wild Waves. I don't know. Generic insert generic water park here. Uh that's what happened. They got to go down some slip and slides. They got to hang out in the splash zone. We
Hmm.
got to
Hmm.
see Vader use the Force to like literally hold in millions of pounds of pressure from undersea water rushing in.
Yeah, because you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you are Anakin
I
and that strong in the Force, I guess it kind of
Mhm.
would make sense. But
And in the end, they decide to destroy the holocron so the Empire can not find the Force-sensitive children.
because he has a flashback in the Force, or not a flashback, but I guess a vision in the
Force
Force.
Echo.
Yeah.
Was it Sense Echo? Force Echo?
Well, I mean, like, what
Same
do we
thing
call
Quinlan
it?
Voss can
Like,
do.
yeah, I mean, like, what do we call it? Like, everywhere else though in the universe, like when Luke got to see like the dark side of himself, and then like Ray, whatever the fuck that shit was.
I don't know.
It's just like a dark vision, I guess.
Vision thing, yeah.
So he sees in his dark vision that if they use the holocron, all that's going to happen is that the Inquisitors are going to find him and they're going to kill off all the kids and him.
Hmm.
And so he decides to not follow the footsteps of some other people and cut it up and just say the Force will find its way. Whatever happens in the Force happens in the Force, pretty much. Like that's like a very Cliff's Note version of that conversation. But yeah,
Right. And then that kind of leads into the book you're reading,
yes,
which I'm not going to spoil it because it is newer, but
yes,
in between Fallen Order and Survivor is about a 5-year period where that crew on the Mantis of Seer, Cal, Grease, and Marin all kind of go their separate ways for
okay,
various
so
reasons.
we're not going to do spoiler alerts, but I feel like this would be
Mm-mm.
kind of a good spot. If you have not played Survivor, please do skip over the rest of this episode. We will see you next week. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us. But for those of you who have played Survivor or who, don't really care about Star Wars enough to even play Survivor in the first place,
Hmm.
there is that period like you just described. And then from there, we do playing the game, reading the book, I know what happens, but playing the game, you don't know what happens. You don't know why they
Right,
split up. You just know that they split
right.
up.
Hmm.
So continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and that gets us to Survivor, where Cal has the Mantis on his own and is just
Yeah.
kind of working with Saw Gerrera and these random kind of crew members.
Yeah.
They end up doing this sort of coup on Coruscant, which looks incredible in the game,
Yeah.
by the
It
way.
was really cool seeing Coruscant come back like that. And to see
Oh,
some
and
like
then
deep cuts, kind of references like the Coruscant Guard that we haven't really seen since like,
mhm.
Clone Wars and
Well, even just that first shot where they show the temple with all the
yeah.
Empire logos on it, I was like, oh man, like that
Yeah.
was his home, and it's just gone.
And so it's crazy because they do talk about this when they're flying down. It's crazy because like that used to be the Jedi's home. That used to be where the
Mhm.
Jedi would reside, and that's where you're like, that was home for them. And then our boy Palpatine turns around and makes it his private residence, which is insane. And I know that like initially that was just kind of like legend stuff, like attached to some like legend stories, but to see that
Mhm.
actually be like lore was really cool. And yeah, dark, freaky,
Very
weird,
fucked.
fucked up
But
for
it's
sure.
Palpatine. Like
Yeah.
Palpatine has like no redeemable qualities
Mm-mm.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Not like any of the other Sith Lords or dark side people. Like
Yeah.
he's pure evil fuckhead.
Yep. Purely. purely evil. That's a
Yeah, that's why he's
perfect way to
not part of
describe
my tattoo, because I ate him.
it. I hate the guy.
I did.
Um, so yeah, so that first scene was really fucking cool. We got to see, you know, we got to see a lot of the upper world. We haven't really seen a lot of like the underworld a lot outside of like those like few episodes. I think uh, when Fives escapes and is on the lam after discovering about the biochips, and then did we really see it with like Ahsoka's departure? I guess we did
A
because
little, yeah.
yeah, because Anakin went searching for Asajj, right?
Mhm.
But outside of that, we really haven't seen it. I mean, I think Cyril's mom lives like, I think it's implied that Cyril's mom lives like on the lower levels, but even then, it's not like the darkness necessarily that we see in Survivor.
Yeah.
And it's just like the socioeconomics there too was really cool. How they just kind of like show like this is all like the temple, this is all like where the rich people live, and then bam, we're underneath where normal people live.
Mhm. And that little coup mission thing they're doing, most of that crew ends up getting uh, you know, killed,
Kilt,
killed.
kilt.
And the what was it? Is it the ninth sister again
Yeah,
who shows up?
I
Yeah, the
mean,
ninth sister
yeah,
shows up again, and
because all we did
Cal
was
goes
just
up
like
against
force
her,
push her off
and
a tree, right? And we know that like
yeah, well, he
Jedi's
cut
and
off her hand and
okay,
force pushed her.
well, because we know that like
A lot of
Jedi and Sith
hands
can like
being cut
survive
off
long
in Star
falls.
Wars.
Yeah, like what's a hand cut off
Hey,
gonna do?
oh, if you don't show the death on screen, if you don't show me a body, they're alive. Mace Windu's alive.
I mean,
Tell me I'm wrong.
you, you're not wrong. You,
He's alive. He's somewhere.
he is
Give me
Thrawn.
Sam Jackson back in Star Wars.
Yeah, badass motherfucker. That's what
That's
they
what I
had.
want.
That's what they had
Used to say,
engraved.
like, if I could be a celebrity for a day, it would be Sam Jackson.
What?
Why not? Just say motherfucker all day long. You
Yeah,
have a purple lightsaber. You're a badass motherfucker.
yeah, yeah. I mean, wasn't like the sole purpose of having like them just giving him a purple lightsaber is just to like make him look like a badass? Like,
He wanted a purple lightsaber. That's all it was. And they're like, okay,
so then they had the writers had the fun, duty of trying to create some like reason
yeah.
and deep
It's
lore. But
because I remember I've heard bits and pieces. I don't know what's legends and what's canon with it
I
now,
know,
but it's
yeah,
more of he created his own fighting style that harnesses parts of the dark side, and that's why blue and red together for his crystal is purple. But
it's
obviously,
just such
Sam
a
Jackson just wanted
contradiction.
purple.
I mean, yeah, I mean, honestly, the problem is it's just such a contradiction to like what we get elsewhere in the Star Wars universe, especially by that specific Jedi Council. Like, I don't know. I struggle with like even that mentality because I'm like, okay, but you guys don't believe in a balance of the Force. You guys believe in
Mhm.
just light side supremacy. So like,
If
why is
that's
somebody
the
who's
case,
so strong about that like the one that has a purple lightsaber? Bah,
well, if
I
that's
don't
the
know.
case, I think Qui-Gon Jinn should have had the purple lightsaber.
That's what I'm saying. Especially like after watching Tales of the Jedi and seeing like a little bit more of his backstory, and to see almost eerily how similar he is to Dooku.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, Survivor. Wow, that's
Hmm.
like the fourth tangent of the episode. We'll have a cry
Tangents
counter,
are
and
good.
then we'll have like a tangent counter as well. Um,
But what is it? That crew, part of that crew is a new member, Bode Akuna, who is has
which
jetpacks and stuff.
literally sounds like a Disney character name.
When I think of it, I think of Barracuda, the song. I'm just like Bode Akuna.
Oh my god. Ooh, Boda Kuna.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um, yeah, so
But
we
he
get to
helps you
introduce
out,
him with
and
his
yeah,
jetpack
have dual combat in there, and seems like a cool dude. Very interesting character.
as we find out. Yeah,
As we find out,
yeah,
yes, he helps you throughout the game until
till he
he
doesn't.
doesn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
basically, during this attack, they're flying the mantis back, and something breaks on it, and they have to find Grease to repair it, and gets us in Kobo.
And I also love like once they land in Kobo, he's like, "Oh shit, let me clean up the ship." Like such like a
Mm-hmm.
teenager. At this point, he's like an adult, but
It's like, I don't want Dad to be mad at me.
I know. Yeah, it's like shit. Mom's home. Go upstairs, clean up the room. Come on.
Well, it's like when you have like company coming over
Yeah,
and like, oh shit, I have to make it look like nobody's ever lived here
I
ever.
know. Yeah, we're staying at a hotel. Um. So yeah, so he cleans up the ship, goes down onto Kobo. Kobo's a new
Mhm.
planet that we hadn't experienced before, which was kind of coolio.
Very like frontier western sort of
Yes.
vibe to it. Has a little, I guess they're mounts, but they're like little horse creatures called Neckos. The Boglings are
Necrowinkles.
there somehow.
Yeah. How are the Boglings there? I thought that
I
was like specific to
what
Bogano.
I thought was implied because they mentioned that. I thought Gregory just brought him with him.
I think so. I think it was implied. I think you're absolutely correct. I think it was like an echo that we see someplace like hidden in the corners there. But
Mhm.
it's something about like how that one seemed like it was from Bogano. And that's what
It was
my theory
definitely
was too.
mentioned. Yeah, he's because
Yeah.
he Kyle was like, "Why are they here?" or something like that.
So Grease and inviting an invasive species onto a planet and destroying their ecosystem. Thanks, Grease. You're great. I mean, because they're like all
Um,
over Kobo. Like they're not just like in specific
yeah, they're
areas. They're like
everywhere.
all over the place. Maybe they're like
So they show you how to
gremlins. Maybe
jump
they
up
like
things.
get with water and then they just like multiply infinitely. That's a deep cuts reference to an
I don't
80s
know.
movie.
Yeah,
Anyways,
Gizmo's cool.
yeah. So some other really weird stuff that was on Bogano that we really didn't understand at the time until playing more into it, but they had this like weird what they called Kobo matter, which was kind of interesting.
They had
Um,
Kobo Matter on Bogano.
no, on Kobo.
Yes, that makes sense.
One could say that with my frolicking PhD,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
PhD
mm-hmm.
degree. Um,
Well, and we do find Grease, right?
yes, he has a
Um,
saloon.
yeah, and is that's where we meet the character of Ravis, who's like a giant freaking alien who survived through the High Republic somehow.
Yeah, maybe his species is just one of those species that lives like a really long time. But
Well, he alluded to it in their battle that he's the only reason he survived is because of all this armor. Kind of like a Vader scenario there.
I just sneezed.
He's more machine than alien.
Sorry for the silence there. Yes, I just sneezed. Yeah, it's like interesting. He's like a weird cyborg, tendly, octopus
I
esque
know.
person.
Yeah, there's a name for this species, and I can't remember it, but they are. It's not the same as Zeb, but it is purple.
Yeah, and they
But it's
are
like bigger than Zeb.
highly resilient and can survive a lot. Um,
Hmm.
apparently not a beheading, but
No,
uh,
and is he the leader of the Bedlam Raiders? That's correct,
technically
right?
yes, technically yes,
Yeah.
because at that point, like, I think the character that we're about to announce is just in a like back dead tank. So I don't know if he's like actually alive and kicking it or if he's just being preserved
Yeah,
in a back dead
yeah.
tank.
I mean, I don't even think. I think that's just something Ravis did during that time period was start that and terrorize people.
Yeah.
He did something to do while homie's in a back to tank.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we do get introduced to a aforementioned character after we find out that there's excuse me. Oh, wow.
His little High Republic chambers on Kobo.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of scientific facilities from the High Republic, specifically the
Mm-hmm.
Jedi from the High Republic, which was the first time that we actually
Mm-hmm.
saw Jedi doing anything like scientific and not temple-y, which was kind of cool. The High Republic era was just apparently a much more understanding era. But we get to we just try to investigate what the facility is and like why in a sense it exists, and then we get to find a big baddie who was played by Cody Fern, which was such a good role for him, like the dark, brooding kind of
Yeah, that
character.
character was like instantly unlikable.
Yes,
So,
yes,
but I think it was cool. Like one of his arms is missing, and I'm like, oh, I'm hoping we find out why, and we do later on.
yeah,
But he's able to basically be freed from this back to tank slumber by Cal. And while, we're kind of going through his Dagangara's backstory, he is literally bleeding his crystal right in front of us with the
yeah.
Force.
Which was
And I
so
thought
cool
that
that
was
we finally
just
got to see that.
so cool.
Yeah,
So his High Republic saber goes from yellow to red, and he's just doing it all with the Force. Like doesn't touch anything.
yeah.
And then you battle Mr. One Armed Dagangara, and he
Which that
kind
battle
of
was
kicks your ass.
fucking cool too. That battle was like awesome. That like he actually
It was
used his
super
lightsaber on
cool.
that side of his missing arm, and
Well, I've
still
heard
was able
it's
to.
like people have asked, and it's like phantom limb force powers, and I was like, that is super cool.
That's pretty lit. It's pretty cool.
That's why he has it like in the later battles. He had when they're in the
Yeah,
force vision thing. He actually kind of has it,
it has
sort
an
of.
arm. Yeah, it's like a ghost arm in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah,
That's in he escapes with Ravis, and I believe they go to the Shattered Moon after that to try and
yeah. I think they is that where
because
they
they're trying to
go?
get the Tanalorr
Yeah,
or find the keys to get the Tanalorr, which is like a planet that Degangara and his I don't know if they're love interest or not.
I kind of feel like they were. I feel like that was
I
kind of
feel like they
implied.
were
Yeah,
that Centauri Cree. We're trying to get there to basically have a place away from everybody that they could train High Republic Jedi.
yeah,
And now this crew's trying to get there to be away from, Inquisitors and the Empire and stuff.
yeah,
So they both have their reasons for trying to find this place.
yeah. And I mean, Paradise Lost kind of vibes, but it is it's almost an obsession for Dagon. It's like an obsession that he has that I think is like what's fueling him to the dark side,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is just so interesting. I mean, the fact that we, got to actually see like a real High Republic character come back, because I think a lot of us were kind of confused as like who they were going to make the bad people in this.
Yeah.
We just thought, okay, more battles against the Inquisitors, yay! But it was cool that like one of the villains, because it's one of the two villains that we see, it was cool that one of the villains just was purely driven by obsession and the fact that that was what
On that,
drove him to the dark side.
yeah. And then throughout that, you see Cal is kind of like, well, I don't want to start becoming like that because he's kind of losing himself and
Yeah,
trying to get to Tanalorr as well. And that's a pivotal sort of plot point is he doesn't want to be like that and
yeah,
turn and lose himself and lose all of his friends again.
yeah. Which we, once we're on Kobo, we find out that Seer. Well, we know that Seer's still alive, but
Mm-hmm.
we went searching for her to try and see if she could help us. Oh my god, I just keep yawning. Um, and then we get to find out once we get to what is it's Jeddah. She's on Jeddah,
Jeddah.
which is
Yep, she's
cool
on Jeddah
since
with
that
a
has
like
such
a
a.
Jedi worshipping cult
I think
sort of
it's
thing.
just supposed to be the same religion or same like cult that is surrounded, the temple there in Rogue One. Because if you
Because
recall,
Jeddah's been in many other things, yeah.
yeah. Um, so we found out that she's there, but she's part of the
Mhm.
what we've seen in a few different creations as well, the Hidden Path, the network for
Mhm.
helping keep Jedi alive or help them, help force sensitive children escape, force sensitive families, shall we say. You're already out?
It's gone.
Damn. Okay. Well, we better hurry the episode up because Lord knows that Starbucks is the same thing as laxative. But yeah.
Yep.
So, yep. So they go to Jeddah. He finds Seer, and that was really cool. But who actually greeted
And
us
then
at the
what?
door? It
And
wasn't
then what?
Seer. Yeah, it
I
wasn't
don't
Seer
know.
who
It
greeted us at
was
the door.
Ano Cardova
Yeah,
greets us at the door,
which was
and
so
it's you
cool.
have this
We all thought he was
big
dead.
reunion with him and BD. Well, it's weird. It was like we all think he's dead, but they never actually say that.
Yep.
So it was very cool. We get the big reunion with him and BD because BD was his droid.
Yep.
With had to erase his memory to set everything in Fallen Order in motion. Really.
He also had the coolest lightsaber in Fallen Order, but that's just my opinion, probably.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. I still need to get it in Survivor. There's a way to get it in
I
Survivor.
thought it's a very complicated way to get it, which is why I
Yeah.
haven't bothered.
I know. It's just I
It's like
have
a
to like
big stupid puzzle of
yeah.
stupid.
And it's not quick. I've done it like I've tried getting to it twice and I just didn't want to dedicate the time to
Mhm,
it because it takes like almost
mhm.
an hour.
Takes
Like
forever.
yeah.
No, it's three separate puzzles in one,
And you just have
basically.
to the time travel between the two, not time travel, but the
Hmm.
time it takes to travel between those different puzzles is just a
Yeah,
lot.
it's nuts.
It's not like the short that I sent you. Like it's not just like okay, now we're here.
That's why I liked finding Seer's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Super easy, just
Oh
there.
look, there's a chest here now.
Ah!
Yeah.
I want to find Centauri Krees, but I haven't looked up how to do it. But
Yeah.
those looked cool.
Well, have you done like little cavern kind of thing in Kobo yet? Okay, we'll talk about it after this.
Cavern
But
thing.
yeah, so there's like a cavern that you can go to in Kobo, and if you complete and kill all of the Jedi pretenders that we see in the game, if you kill all the Jedi pretenders in that, you actually get it's something that unlocks all the map. Like shows you where
Oh, I know what
like
you're talking about.
yeah, so it shows you like where every scannable is. It shows you where like every
I
lightsaber, every
have
cosmetic, stuff like that.
so far I have all the chests and scannable items unlocked on that.
Okay. Yeah.
But if it's a chest, I haven't seen
Yeah.
anyone find it. But I also haven't like YouTube how to find it yet.
Yeah.
So I'll do it at some point. But I
Yeah.
let my friend Tim, who actually bought me the game as a surprise,
Oh,
I
cool.
let him borrow the game
Oh,
because I
because you
beat
got the
it,
disc.
and
You got the physical
yeah, I got
copy.
the disc. I got the disc. So I'm letting him play it, and hopefully he enjoys it,
I think we have a
because I
special
know
guest
I
that wants
did.
to come on. Hold on just a second. Come here.
Oh, he's a
Come here.
puppy.
Come here. Oh, come on. Jump up here. Come on. Come on. Oh, 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 oh,
Oh,
oh. Hi,
puppy.
Ada. This is my little one. For the visual watchers, this is my dog Ada. For the auditory listeners, I'm sorry for all the noise that's happening, but this is my dog Ada. Oh, I know. Okay, I think actually somebody needs to go potty. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. I don't know what we're going to do in this break, but we're going to
This
take
is
a quick
work with
break.
the Cantina Band.
Yeah. Bam, 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 bam. Well, that's the only. I don't want to get DC made, so that's the only little bit that we can do. All right, I'll be right back. Hi. I know. Okay. Back up. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for taking a quick little listen to an ad from our non existent sponsor.
Oh,
I know, no, just kidding.
the trailer came out for the next Star Wars video game an hour ago, my guy.
What? Why are we doing this?
Star Wars Outlaws.
All right, everybody. Well, that's the end of the podcast. Have a good rest of the week. Bye. See you later. Shit. Well,
I'm
fuck a
definitely gonna
duck.
watch it afterwards.
Okay, yeah, let's I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah,
We'll watch it when we're done. We'll watch it when we're
it's going to
done.
be part of the Nerd Network news. We can actually display
It's
us
the
watching it and we'll do a live commentary. That's what we're going to do in place of Nerd Network news this week. That's
okay.
awesome. Oh, hell yeah. Cracking open up a cold one with the boy. Not really. It's sparkling ice, new mango orange flavored. Spice up your life with sparkling ice. That'd be kind of cool. Anyways,
That actually did sound pretty good.
I'm not good at a lot of things, but I'm good at making up fake advertisements. Maybe in another life, I could have been on Mad Men, but like the IRL version of that.
I've never watched Mad Men.
Well, I, at this point, I don't even know if I can recommend it. There's just so many other good shows, better shows. John Hamm's amazing. It's an amazing show, but
I like
I don't know if I would recommend it.
Christina Hendricks.
Yes,
She
yes.
was she was in Firefly.
And she's kind of a badass character in that show too. She's a
Okay.
sexism kind of queen, very anti-sexist, and I love it.
Okay.
Okay, so anyways, diving back into Survivor. So we met
Sorry.
Deg and Gara, we met all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
think that they
Mm-hmm.
have love interest. We think that they're
I
love
think so.
interest, and shit. Well, pretty much, I guess the entirety of the story is us just trying to find the compasses or a compass to get to Tantalor ourselves. Which
Yep.
I don't. Did we dive into why we're searching for, the
Well,
compass?
yeah, I said it was to um, get the basically that crew and the hidden path to a place away from the Empire.
And the biggest reason why is because, the reason why they died in Coruscant is because they got into a senator's yacht and
Mm-hmm.
found classified military intelligence and found out that, like, literally with the star chart that pulled up, that the Empire is just literally everywhere. There's not a single planet in the charted version or the charted universe or charted galaxy that they're not at, that they don't
Mm-hmm.
control, they don't have a presence on. So they're just trying to find some place to just go that doesn't have the Empire.
Yep. And then
Which,
you find out
yeah.
Bode wants to help because he has a daughter and wants to get her away from all of that too. Pivotal plot points.
Well, pause for silence because, yeah. Anyways, so yes. So the better part of the game is just spent going from planet to planet, trying to find the compasses, or at least try and
And
find a way to repair the compasses.
mhm.
Um, and then we go to back to Jeddah, which starts probably one of the most intense scenes that I've seen in video games, Star Wars games wise, in a while.
Yeah,
So that was pretty cool
it's very all happy go lucky there for a while.
until it's not.
Mhm. And I remember telling you, I was like, it got way too happy. Something has to go
Yeah,
wrong here,
yeah.
and everything went wrong
Everything that could go wrong
very
did go
quickly.
wrong.
Yes.
So Kyle,
Oh my gosh.
kind of tell us a little bit about that. So we thought we found the last compass. We took it back. Endo
Hmm.
Cordova started repairing it. We have a scene where it's just all, it's the bros hanging outside, around a
Yeah.
fire. And the next day, or when dawn occurs,
Hmm.
shit goes down real quick. So go ahead and tell us
Oh
what
yeah.
happens.
Um, basically, Cal and Bode had discussed, wanting to take the whole hidden path and everyone from Jeddah basically up to Tanalorr. I'm like, oh, cool, perfectly fine. And you kind of turn around and Bode has the compass and a blaster to Ano's chest
Mm-hmm.
and ends up killing him, throwing a grenade and escaping.
Yeah. And
And
then
Cal loses it, and there's this big speeder chase through Jeddah, which is incredible. You throw a stormtrooper up into a damn TIE fighter with the Force.
yeah, which was, I think when I was playing that, I was like, is he tapping into the dark side? Because this is a little like more intense than what I've seen with other Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah,
that is very apparent later.
yeah.
But you chase Bode and end up kind of on this rocky
On a
platform,
plateau, on a
and
mesa.
Bode force pushes you away.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. I think I was like literally drinking one of these. I think I was like
Uh-huh.
literally just like watching the cutscene, and I was just like literally spat it out. Like I had to clean my
Well,
desk out.
even after he killed Eno and escaped, I was like, I'd never thought, oh my God, this is a Jedi.
Yeah, I just thought he was
I
like
was
an
like, oh, we're
ISB
just
agent or
gonna
something.
fight him with his blaster or something,
Hmm.
or he just turned everyone in so he could get away. Um, but yeah, he force pushes Cal away, which okay, and then pulls out Dagan Gera's lightsaber,
Yep,
revealing he was a Jedi this whole damn time.
yep.
And you battle him, and he ends up force pushing Cal off a cliff and fires a blaster shot into him. And then you play as Seer Junda for a little bit.
Which was
Do you want to tell
badass.
us what happens with Seer?
So
Because
yeah,
that got me too. This
yeah.
whole thing is insane.
Um, so at this point, I think it's intentional. Because I don't really think it matters which game mode or not game mode, but difficulty setting you're on. But Seer's character is fucking overpowered. Like she is
Hmm.
just so attuned
Hmm.
with the Force, so strong in the Force. One could argue it's because she uses a balance of both dark side and light. Um, but she's so strong, and I remember that when I was playing that at just like the swarms of enemies that was coming, and just to think of
It
it
was
from
a
like an
lot.
actual lore standpoint, just to see how truly powerful she is was just so fucking
And
cool.
she's taken down AT-ATs by herself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, she like force pulled like two ships down, right?
Hmm.
Like two
Hmm.
transports. Um, and then yeah, so there's like these bomb ball kind of things, and you just do this like quick little pattern, and then it
Yep.
literally just shoots out these like bombs that just destroy the fucking AT-ATs that are
Hmm.
approaching. And I remember like even Marin was making comments like they just like little voice quips where
Yeah.
she was like kind of commenting on how big of a badass Sarah was being. And it's also, I think it was interesting and it was a cool choice that like in the game we really, I mean, like the single use lightsaber wasn't really that powerful. And
Yeah. But
so
with her,
with her it was super powerful, which was just
yes.
crazy. Um so they slowly keep repelling enemies. They do retreat back into the facility and they try and guard the main gate. The main gate gets breached in much of the same kind of visual aesthetic that we got out of Obi-Wan with, just like kind of kill box mentality where they just kept getting pushed back. And then
Hmm.
you've got this big wall of fire, and then enemies just keep kind of pouring through, and she just keeps fucking them badass bitches up. And then they decide to kind of split off a little bit. Marin holds the ship. BD1 goes with her, and
Hmm.
their whole goal is just to try and find the hidden path network transmission code, get it into BD1 so that way they can escape out with it and then
Hmm.
destroy the rest of the shit. So then we get into the main area, which was, we kind of skipped over that, but it was there on Jeddah. What she was doing was rebuilding the Jedi library and
In the archives.
the archive. Yeah, she was trying to rebuild that and preserve the ancient text, all those things. So we get to that. She's inside there. She gets the code, and then Big Daddy pops through the door, and she says,
Hmm.
"I knew." What did she say? She was like, "I knew it was only a matter of time before you arrived," kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, we throughout the entire Survivor series too, they did a lot more humanizing with BD. Made BD much more of Cal's best friend and its own kind of
Hmm.
autonomous droid, which we're seeing them do generically in the Star Wars universe right now, which I love. But specifically in that scene, she had just uploaded the code to him. or he had at least, I guess the data, what are those called? Data discs? Yeah, data
Credit
disc.
discs.
So he had the data disc. Um, she tells him go. He kind of like stands there and resists and is like, no, I'm going to help you. And
Yeah, he
she
doesn't want
says,
to go.
or like, what does she say? She's like, go. And then Daddy pops down on the floor from the
Hmm.
little kind of like door that he'd just blown open. And she pulls the lever and she's like, all right, shit's going down, literally going down. So they like kind of
Hmm.
like lower into this different like level and they start battling. And that whole battle scene is so intense. And there's a
Oh, when
point
he
where you're
comes
almost
out of the
like,
fire.
I know.
Oh my
Yeah. So
gosh.
what she
Vader on
does,
fire looked insane.
so she pulls down. So they fight pretty intensely throughout the
Hmm.
entire fight. It almost kind of seems like she's going to be able to hold her own, and you might defeat Vader, or incapacitate Vader.
Right.
She does several strikes to him. You know, I think then she loses her lightsaber, or her lightsaber gets tossed away, and so she has to use, excuse me, she has to use the Force to pull down one of the archive bookcases, shall we say.
Yeah.
She pulls that down on him, and we kind of think, okay, cool, we can move on. I mean, obviously at this point we know that Vader doesn't die because we have like movies afterwards,
Movies.
but we at least think that they can maybe escape. And then uh, he survives and climbs out of the fire, and to see like his cape on fire and
Yeah.
like his suit
Yeah.
damaged, and then still is like a badass motherfucker and still fights
That's
her.
when the battle gets harder.
Yeah, it gets
And I
like,
think that's, his suit is designed to, give him more pain and make him more pissed off.
yeah,
So it makes perfect sense that, oh, I'm on fire. This is going to get a lot harder for you now.
especially the parallels there, that he was in a sense born from fire. The fact that he came out of the fire, I that was not lost
Hmm.
on me. That was very
Hmm.
gorgeous that they did that. I thought that was like class, that was like high tier writing right there. That
Hmm.
like, yeah, that part alone, I don't know if many YouTubers have like really touched on that, but that was like a very integral point of that battle as well. That because he was on fire, because in a sense that's what drives him and that's what created Darth Vader in the first place, that made him so much more powerful to where it actually like started becoming really challenging to fight against him. And unfortunately, Seer does die at his own blade.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a scene that was crazy as well.
yeah,
So it looks like she kind of force jumps into him, and it looks like she stabs him, but
yeah,
really she misses and
by
has
like
the
that much.
lightsaber through her. Yeah, barely misses him. And he's like hobbling away after killing her, and then Cal catches her, and big emotional
Yeah.
sort of
So
thing.
at that point, I mean, we don't really know how Cal survived. We know that Jedi
Yeah, I have
obviously
no
survived
idea.
that, but he had kind of hobbled his way back to the temple. At this point, the temple was like mostly burnt. It was mostly like just
Hmm.
done, and all that is kind of there on the floor is just Seer. It's just Seer's body, and yeah, that was a. I think I texted you and said like I was not ready for all of this,
Yeah, and I was
and
waiting for you to get to that point. I
it was
really
like
was.
it was like 11 or something. It was like 10 o'clock your time because it was like 11 or something at night for me. I remember
Hmm.
just like thinking like, okay, I just need to power through this. I need to power through this. I need to power through this. And I just was not ready for that. I was crying so fucking much. Like to the point that like my glasses that I currently have on right now, like there was like fog from right there because
It
of how
probably
much
takes
like,
like 45 minutes to an hour to get through all that.
yeah, yeah.
And I was still at the end. I was like, what the fuck just
I,
happened?
I know.
How?
It was so intense. And then I don't know, that was just so badass. It was sad. It was sad to see like that really, I mean, Cameron Monaghan is just such a good fucking actor. And to see
Hmm.
like that genuine emotion come out there, where that was kind of the first time that we really saw Cal break down in a sense.
Hmm.
Um Especially for him, I think there was a lot of an element of like obviously Seer meant so much to him, but like he, especially reading through the book now, that it's all kind of lost, and a lot of it, without spoiling the book, a lot of it kind of is Cal's fault. Um, and Cal's kind of a shit in the book in various parts. He's not a very good person and does a lot of things to his friends and his family that causes them to leave him or causes them to amicably all kind of break up. But
Mm-hmm.
that specific scene, it was just so heart-wrenching that he had so much regret and lost one of the people that he had just reconnected with and somebody that matters so much to him. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was really fucking hard. And then at some point, I guess the mantis comes back, and then, you know, that was, God, it was the scene like Grease that made me bawl again. I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like gathered myself. And then whenever like Grease found out, uh,
Well, and then yeah, Cal was kind of trying to blame himself for not being able to sense that Bode was
yeah.
force sensitive, and Grease just cuts him off. He's like, "No, this isn't your fault. I don't want to hear it."
Also, while like holding back tears too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because I guess in a sense, Grease had known her a lot longer than they did. And being
Mm-hmm.
I think in the first one, they kind of alluded to the fact that they had been doing that for a few years. Like it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just like, oh, he hired me like a month ago. Like they'd been traveling around for a while. And
Mm-hmm.
so that was his closest friend. She fronted him money for the Pyloon
For the
Saloon.
saloon,
Yeah.
yeah, and she never got to visit.
I know when he said that, oh
Yeah, I was like,
God.
"Oh,
So we kind of get a few little bits there where they just are kind of reminiscing and talking and uh,
oh yeah." And we didn't even really mention it, but Marin and Cal are like started a romantic relationship in this
yeah,
game.
like started kissing and like
Mm-hmm.
have like a straight up romantic interest, which
Mm-hmm.
I kind of love when they do that in the Star Wars universe, just because they don't show us a lot of that, just because it's more like kid
Well,
driven.
even in
But
Legends, Luke gets married and has kids.
oh my God, never say that
So
around
like,
fucking Luke. Never say that around George Lucas. There's like this one scene where somebody brings up like Luke's wife and he like
mhm.
flips shit in the middle of an interview and just like leaves the office. But
Well,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And he just keeps saying, "I didn't write that. That's not mine." So, anyways, but yeah.
Okay.
So,
But it happened.
Marin and them, they're like, kind of having a little bit of a little love
Hmm.
interest, which is a little bit interesting because in the book she has a love interest as well, which is one of the first like bisexual love interests that we
Hmm.
see in the Star Wars universe in a sense,
Hmm.
more than just like a scene of a kiss, like what we got out of Rise. What's the last one? What is the last one? Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, so then the goal kind of shifts from let's like all be happy on Tanalore to holy fucking shit, what do we do? He stole the compass. We got to go find
Hmm.
Bode. So then we go onto this like outlying kind of like asteroid um,
Well,
settlement.
it's
Is that what we're gonna
yeah,
call it?
it's like a Navon Gora, something like that.
Yeah,
But it's an ISB base.
yeah.
But earlier on,
We don't know that.
after the very first thing, Cal and Bode have a way to track each other, like some sort of thing,
I think it was
and
yeah. I
Bode
think it was whenever he was
so
escaping off
Bode
of
could find him
Coruscant.
on Kobo.
Yeah,
Yeah, so Bode could find him on Kobo, and they could link up later. Bode still has that, so
yeah.
they're able to get a faint reading on where he is, which is this um, ISB base that I can't pronounce the name of correctly.
And I can't even remember the name of it. So, um,
Navon, something like
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Gara.
So they go to this planet. He tries to find Bode. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle of that, he actually finds out that whoop 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 reverso. Hit him with a reverso card. Hit him with the reverse and Uno, and it
Uno
was like,
reverse.
yeah, just kidding. You're the one. And we find out that after we hear this stupid, Imperial officer's monologue, that it's probably actually not us trying to find Bode, but Bode brought us here to kill this Imperial officer
Mm-hmm.
who Bode used as a means to have everything that we just talked about happen. Um, and then we incapacitate this officer. We don't kill him. We just
Oh yeah,
incapacitate him
like force pull his head into a desk and knock him out. Like it
after
was
showing a lot of
brutal.
dark side, you know, aspects to
Yeah.
Cal. And then we go to Bode's private chambers where we do get to
Hmm.
not introduce ourselves, but we get to meet his daughter Kata.
Gotta.
Um, he shows up. Of course, he does at the opportune time. He shows up,
Hmm.
and they act like they're friends, just to not show his daughter that all of that was
Hmm.
happening, until they didn't, and until he did attack, Cal
And
in front of his
Bode
daughter.
Bode admits that he purposely kept the tracker on to bring Cal there as a distraction and
Yep,
escape, and that
that's what he does.
drives Cal
At that point,
to use various parts of the dark side.
yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, there's no like he's tapping into aspects of the dark side. Like we
No.
get to play Cal chasing after him, and even like the anger that Cameron does, like in the voice
Hmm.
acting, there is just so like believable. And I feel like
Hmm.
that's hard to do that, like to do really believable anger when you're a voice actor, because it
Hmm.
just sometimes seems so unnatural. But like, God, just the way that he handled everything,
Yeah.
and then the way that
He
the character did too.
and Bode and Kata escape to Tantalor with the compass.
In the non X-wing X-wing.
Yeah, yeah, and then Cal taps into his dark side and like basically one shot kills everybody
Yeah, and that was fucking
until
cool.
Marin is able to kind of come in and get through to his better senses, and it's very, Cal's losing himself very clearly here.
Yeah. TBH,
Um,
what would have been a really cool little thing that they could have done with that is maybe show like a red lightsaber. I don't know. I mean, I know that you would have to
I
like bleed
mean,
the
they
crystal,
kind of
but
sort of did
yeah,
because the screen goes red, and that's really the only color, but it would be weird for it to bleed and then go back to normal. I think that would be kind of an issue.
give me a red lightsaber then. Come on.
You can have it in New Game Plus.
Yeah, you can have the party version, which is like weird that once you
Yeah,
swing it
I thought
changes the
that was
color.
dumb.
It would have been cool if it was like the NeoPixel lightsaber where it actually just does
Hmm.
like a rainbow blade, but whatever. Um, so yeah, so Marin finds him, and she kind of keeps him from going fully through the dark side.
Hmm.
We get another fun little platform scene like we did in Clone Wars, the last season of Clone Wars. That scene where they're trying to escape the Venerator.
Hmm.
So that was kind of cool. They just do all these like tiny little nod backs to like things that we've already seen in the
It's
other
very
Star Wars
cool.
universe, and
Yeah.
I just like that they do that. So we got to see that where they have like the elevator kind of parts where various different enemies come out. Um, I also love that they showed us the Stage 3 Dark Troopers as well in this game. We haven't really seen that anywhere else in the Star Wars universe for the most part, outside of course, Mando, whenever we saw them again. So that was kind of cool. And then they do escape, and when, when they were in Bode's private chambers, they did find out that you don't necessarily need the compasses. That the way that Centauri had kind of created like a backup was to
Yep.
use the whatever those technically were. What technically were those? Were those like mining? I think what they called it in the game was like mining beams or something like that. I don't know,
Something like that. I can't recall the actual name, but yeah, if you
but
line them up and sync them up, you're able to
kind of just cut
get the
through the
Tantalor.
cut
Yeah.
through the abyss. Which the abyss in this game is very akin to what we see as like the Malmstrom that you have to go through in the movie Solo to get to Kessel.
Hmm.
And so, yeah. So we are able to do that. We go back to Kobo. We're able to do that, and then we fly into Tanalor. And Tanalor, I guess in my mind, was going to be like way more different than it was, but it was very
Well,
peaceful,
I mean,
and there
we've
was
seen
no,
glimpses of it in the flashbacks, and it
yeah.
looked pretty much the same.
I guess just I don't. In my mind, I was expecting it to be like colorful instead of like in the flashback where it was still kind of like muted colors. But there was no like wildlife at all, which was kind of weird.
No. Yeah, very odd that nothing was there.
It's like a sterile planet outside of like
I was waiting for
flora.
like anything to jump out at you on the way to you know,
Yeah.
confront Bode, but nothing did. It was very odd.
We get up there, we get to hear Kata's cute little voice. She's singing a song.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
We also get to see that Kata doesn't really agree with anything that her dad's doing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then the final showdown goes
Yep.
down with both of them, which was a pretty intense fight. I remember, I think I
Mm-hmm.
died like twice, and then just because I was trying to get through the story,
Oh,
I think I did
yeah. I died
turn
once
down.
because I was like, when it goes, Bode's kind of ground and pounding,
Yeah,
and it goes, embrace your dark side. I was like, oh, what if I don't? And then
same.
I don't have to use it, and that's how I died.
Yeah, it doesn't let you. You have
And then
to.
I was like, oh, okay, I actually have to do this. And then, yeah, it wasn't a problem.
Yeah, so I died. I did once just from the battle because I had played it like whatever Jedi Knight or whatever. So then I
The
switched it down to
second one
Jedi
is, yeah.
Padawan, and then I died again, and so then I switched it down
Hmm.
to story mode just to try and get through it.
I played the
Um,
whole thing on story mode.
you did. I mean, there's no
That's
shame in
what I'm
that.
there for.
That's what I did
That's
with the
what I'm there
first one.
for.
Yeah, we're
I
there for
just
the
want the
story.
story.
We're also there because we have to make content about it. That's my mentality. I was like, shit. Kyle's been wanting to talk about this for a few weeks. I gotta get it done. I can't just keep being the reason we delay
Well,
it.
I just want the story. Like, I'm still fighting the same villains.
Yeah,
I beat the game. Doesn't matter.
and even on story mode, the parrying is a little bit more challenging than it
Hmm.
was the first one. It's not as given. Like it still has a little bit of a challenge to it.
I'll always play story mode, no matter what the game is. I don't care.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, that's kind of like the story in a gist. We
Yeah, and
end
yeah, you
out by
bury Tyr, Bode, and
yeah,
Eno on Tanalorr.
yeah.
Kind of set them ablaze like the normal funerals they have in Star
And
Wars.
even then how intentional he was with like Bode's funeral of like not
Hmm.
just treating him like he was a, traitor, like actually giving him a
No,
proper,
like, well, I
you know,
mean,
burial.
I feel like even though there was betrayal there, that whole brother thing was real to Cal. Maybe not so much for Bode because he
Yeah.
was had ulterior motives, but for Cal, that was his, you know, one of his better friends, like a brother, like an older
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah. And how does it end, Kyle? Because this was one that both you and I were very what the fuck just
Well,
happened?
yeah, well, it ends. Um, we see kind of Seer Junda's Force Ghost
Yeah.
next to Cal, and she more or less says, I think it's like keep her away from the darkness or something like that.
Or
I don't know the
bring her.
exact
Hold on.
wording,
Yeah. Let's
but
do a
talking
quick
about
Google.
Bode's daughter Kata, who I'm assuming is probably going to be a force sensitive child as well.
Yes. Sorry, everybody. I'm literally looking up the actual quote.
So
Well, I just
I'll
completely
keep
misread that.
talking.
Yeah. Keep
But it
going.
would be, I think, I saw someone allude to it. I wish I could give them credit. But I don't remember who it was. Someone on YouTube was like, "What if they go the Last of Us route or a God of War
Mmm.
route, and you have Cal and like older Kata in the next game,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of akin to the Last of Us or God of War,
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. I I would
where
vibe with
he's
that.
her master." But I mean, I don't know where they're gonna go with the third game if they are on Tanalorr, because that's supposed to be like a safe haven. Are you just trying to get other people there and still battling the Empire? Does the Empire find Tanalorr? Like, obviously, that's very presumptive of what the third game's going to be, because there is going to be a third
Found
game,
it.
as far as I know.
Yeah,
What
I
does
mean
she
that's
say?
that's pretty understood at this point, especially with that. But it's
I think
her
it's
exact
always been set
quote.
up to be a trilogy.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't think he. I don't know if he dies, but I don't know why. Like, I don't feel like it would be out of question to say that he doesn't die ever. That he's now just a
Hmm.
post, Jedi Order kind of character. What she says verbatim is guide her through the darkness,
Okay.
which has a lot of implications. It could mean a lot of different things. Um, I personally am in the camp that the story that Disney has done and the story that we're seeing is that Jedi are not necessarily just all about the light anymore. I think that it's a lot more of what we
Yeah.
see as like High Republic era Jedi, which is that there's a little bit more of a balance there between the darkness and the
Mhm.
light. Um,
I would agree that
yeah,
after 46, 40, Order 66 and kind of seeing the Jedi weren't all that they were cracked up to be,
yes,
and
yes,
those Jedi that survived are like, yeah, we gotta change and be different, or it's gonna get us all fucking slaughtered again.
yeah. And so I think that guide her through the darkness means that maybe she, I don't know, maybe that means that she is, because she's been so surrounded with darkness recently, like he just needs to guide her in a sense through all of the shit. Especially because, I mean, if you think about it, her backstory now like lends to probably be one of the, like what would be a very good dark side character. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm. Like a dark side origin story for
exactly,
sure.
exactly. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how they're able to do that. How Cal, the person that killed her father, is able to
Hmm.
train her in the light side or in the balanced version of the Force. Um, but yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you think it means?
I honestly thought it just kind of what you were saying is, just, I mean, without assuming she's a force sensitive child, just kind of help her through her father's death,
Yeah,
really. Because her mother is dead also, which we didn't really mention, but
yeah.
it was just Bode and her. That's it.
Which at that point we have three characters who have all lost their entire family.
Hmm.
So it's just interesting. It's interesting. But yeah,
But I guess we'll kind of find out what happens in the next game there. Maybe
next book, next game.
maybe he turns, maybe she turns, maybe no one turns. I don't know.
Maybe we all turn. Maybe you
But
turn,
it
I
did
turn, we all
seem
turn.
it did seem like um with Cal kind of embracing the dark side, I'd be worried about what's going to happen with him because he even said he was scared of what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a lot of expectations. I have a lot of wants, desires, and needs when it comes to this game because
I
it's
just,
probably
I
my
just,
favorite video games.
yeah, I just don't want Darth Cal Kestis. That's my boy. So we'll see.
Well, I think it's time.
What are we watching it?
We're watching it.
Okay, let me get the Star
Oh
Wars
no.
page here.
Okay. Yep.
I saw
Here,
the guy's
actually, I can do
name.
this. Hold on, just a
Can you put
second.
it in here?
Yes.
These are dangerous times. At least that's what I hear. The Empire? They're everywhere. But the world here belongs to the syndicates.
Oh shit!
Syndicate base. Interesting.
So Pike Syndicate?
Yeah.
If I want to survive,
Oh my god, it looks so
I have to play their
good.
game.
Our little guy.
Looks like I'm all in.
She's in here somewhere.
On second thought, I'm out.
Starts a bar fight. Ooh.
Ubisoft game?
Yeah.
I've been held back my whole life.
Who's that little guy?
And now, I just need a chance to finally be free. Wherever that
Got
takes
a
me.
blaster.
I'm here to offer you a way out, okay?
Get off my ship, Jalen.
Give me a chance.
Oh, a commando droid.
You're gonna have to trust me. It'll be dangerous, risky. But if you pull this off, you'll never look over your shoulder again.
Okay, Rancor.
The underworld shows no mercy. But it's a big galaxy out there, and I'm gonna risk it all.
Cool. Dude.
Star Wars Outlaws
2024.
coming 2024.
Dude.
Oh.
Wow, that's awesome. So yeah, that might be the first time. I think this is like the first preview that we're getting out of this expected open world kind of Star Wars game, right?
As far as I know, that's the first thing that's been put out there. Not
Yeah.
even like pictures or anything.
That's really cool. That was really cool.
Star Wars Outlaws.
That was awesome. The commando droid, like a reprogrammed commando droid. That was really cool.
Oh my gosh. Well, that'll definitely carry us over until
Yeah.
the next Jedi game for
Yeah.
sure. Man, that looked good.
Okay, Ubisoft, I know you're not listening, but if you could please listen to this, please delay this game even further.
Yes.
If you need time. If you need time to finish it, delay it. Don't make us like... Wow.
Oh, that was cool.
That was, as the youths would say, that was pretty lit AF.
I don't think they say that anymore, but sure. It looked great. I'm
That
excited.
was fucking cool. I'm really excited too. I'll probably have to like watch it like 6 or 7 more times to get all the Easter eggs. So
Yeah,
we'll
you
probably
gotta-
talk
yeah.
about it more next episode.
I'm
folks.
sure like it's already been out a couple hours because it
Yeah.
came out while we were recording. I'm sure someone's already made a video with all the Easter eggs, and I'm
I'm
gonna
on
check
it.
that
Eckhart's
out.
Ladder, where you at? Like, let's go. Okay, well, that's a cool ending to this episode. You got 2 really hyped Star Wars nerds here who are now
Oh my
smiling
gosh,
very big
but-
and very excited. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 4, A New Hope. A New Hope for this podcast. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Kyle, do you want to say some stuff to tell these people to fuck off and talk to us next
Oh,
week?
I'm not gonna say that. If you spent this whole time with us, awesome. If we spoiled anything for you, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But yeah, feel free to leave a rating, a review if you're on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, all that mumbo jumbo. Yeah, even straight up the same thing I say every week. If one person tuned in or watched, listened, shared, whatever, awesome, cool. Thank you for hanging out with Dak and I for a couple hours while we just talk about nerdy stuff.
Yeah. Well, and everybody, as always, you matter. You're very important. We love you, and we're very thankful that you're our friend. And if nobody else tells you that this week, just know that we care about you and we're appreciative for you. With that, this was episode 4 of NerdPod. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Ba-ba-bum. Well, there we go.